Hey Aaron,
How you doing, Rick? You right?
I'm okay. What about you?
Yeah, back here again.
Back here again. So tell me, you have played a lot of games, but not only that, you also have made big improvements because you have reached a milestone.
Yeah, so I got up to like 957, and then I went down a bit, depending on mood and morale and how I'm feeling, I can go up and down. But yeah, I'm in the 900s and now, and it's nice because when I revisit our videos on YouTube, you'll start off by saying, "Hi, Aaron, you're on 800 and this," or bit back you're on 700 and this. It's nice to now say I'm on 900 now, so it's
Yeah.
pretty cool, really.
So 957 is your highest, yeah?
Yeah.
That's in touching distance of the goal.
I know, yeah, but like I say, as you go up the rankings, you've got to play better. You've got to play sharper. You still can learn from a mistake. Like if you make a mistake, you can still get a second chance, but it's different, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But these 900 and 1000 players, you're well able for them. So as you
Thank
already
you,
have seen.
thank you.
Um, Okay, so we're going to look at three games. We'll make three videos out of that. I'd like
Yeah,
to start with the game where you said you got bossed around by the Queen, and it's quite a. I'm glad you picked that game. This is quite instructive.
thank you.
Um, so let's go. We'll go. Will we start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you were white in this game. Your rating at that moment was 911. It was played on the 27th of June, 2023.
Yeah,
Your opponent had a rating of 874 on
yeah,
chess.com, a rapid rating. And you always open with the e-pawn. As Bobby Fischer said, best by test. He always
yeah,
played e2, e4 as well. And your opponent plays a Scandinavian. I think we've seen that before in this series as well.
yeah,
For some reason, it's popular amongst players of your strength. And you took, queen takes, and of course, what is nice in Scandinavian, you get a tempo on the queen straight away. And the main lines here is for the queen to go to a5, to d6, or back to d8. But your opponent played queen e5 check, which is the fourth most popular option, and it's
right.
not bad. It's not terrible. Bishop e2 makes sense, developing a piece and shielding the check. And here I could find one grandmaster game. It was Grandmaster Gustafsson. He's from Germany. He
Mm.
played c6 in this position. It was a blitz game, so not a serious over-the-board grandmaster game, but he played c6. But your opponent played queen d6, and
Nice.
I don't know why he played with his queen again, but because the queen was not attacked on e5, he could have gone to d6, of course, a move ago. So he's really losing a lot of time. You developed, and another voluntary queen move, but at least now it has a little threat. He's threatening to take on g2. And you played the right response. G2 is hanging. You want a castle anyway, so you protect g2.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Bishop h3. And
At this level, I'm getting a lot of this bishop coming out, and it upsets me a bit, Rick, because I've castled, I've developed my knights, I've shielded that. He's playing with just his queen, and I was really disheartened by this because it's like so far I feel like I'm doing everything right, but he has that long diagonal straight away.
yeah, but okay. And by the way, you say you're a bit upset by it. In a game, in two games later in this session, we'll see that you do the same on your opponent. So it goes both ways. But is it that bad? I mean, okay, you played g3 to make sure you wouldn't get checkmated, and you lost the exchange.
I
But
lost a rook.
rook for bishop. But do you have to give material? Is there another move here to not have to give up your rook for the bishop?
Is it knight to h4?
Knight h4 is a move, and it's protecting against checkmate, and it's attacking the queen. But what do you do after queen g5? Attacking the knight.
I would pawn to d4.
Pawn to d4, attacking the queen. And what if he takes your knight?
I take the bishop.
You take the bishop. Yeah,
Was that the
exactly.
line you were looking for?
That is one of the lines that is definitely playable. I was looking for another move. because in this line that we just saw after g takes h3, your king is a bit unhappy, So I'm looking for a more clean move, which also protects it against checkmate.
So a move that protects g2.
Yes.
So I've done that. That protects g2. Right. So if that's so, I played g3, which is not the answer that you're looking for.
Well, g3 is okay. It's a pity that you're losing the exchange. So I'd like to not lose material. Knight h4 is possible, as we just looked at. There's another move which does the same thing.
Bishop to d3.
Queen takes g2 checkmate.
No, that doesn't defend the checkmate. Okay, so knight to h4. Right, we've done that. I can't see any. Is it king to h1? Like how?
King to h1, queen takes g2 checkmate. No, it's another move with this knight.
Okay, e5.
Queen takes g2 checkmate. Where else does a knight protect g2?
e1.
Knight e1, exactly.
Wow.
Of course, you really don't want to play a knight back to the bottom rank, but I guess if it is to save the game, you have to play it. And no, white is still better. You're going to play, for example, I'll just give one example line. He's going to develop. You're going to play d4, grabbing the center. He's going to try to get his bishop out. You play bishop f3, for example, with a nice threat on b7. That would win the rook, so he's playing c6, and you play the knight back to d3. The knight can now come back in the game because g2 is now protected by the bishop. And for example, he plays bishop d6, and you develop a bishop f4. Just to show you a line, and then white is better because he has a big advantage in development. All your pieces are playing, and he still has a knight at home, and the king is in the middle.
Brilliant.
Okay, so bishop h3, you said you were a bit upset, but it's all about, is it really that bad? Do we have to give up material, or is there another way to not get checkmated so quickly? And very often, if you have played sensible moves, which you have done so far, then you usually have an option to defend yourself.
Nice.
Okay, g3 drops the bishop, and here you took with the queen. And when you took with the queen, you left the c2 pawn hanging. He took it. So what else can you do here instead of taking with the queen?
Take with the bishop.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing a lot now. Like I move a piece that was just defending a piece.
Yeah, take with the bishop, and then you can go to g2, and the bishop is very nice there as well,
Yeah.
Protecting the king in a natural way and having a nice diagonal. So I also saw you played it after 1 second, queen takes f1. So it was a knee-jerk reaction, and you did not look around what was happening. Having said that, queen takes c2 is a huge blunder. Can you find the refutation? You're going to checkmate the queen in one move.
d3, pawn to d3.
No, the queen is not checkmated then because it's not attacking the queen. Pawn to d3, the queen is not attacked.
Bishop to d3.
Bishop to d3, exactly. And now you've checkmated the queen. Can't go anywhere without being taken, and everything it can take is protected, and there's no escape. That way, there's no escape anywhere.
So with my move, the pawn to d3.
Yeah.
And how? So where can the king go from there?
Well, the queen
Is it?
can't go anywhere. The only thing is that you haven't trapped the queen yet because you're not attacking the queen yet. But I must admit the queen looks very unhappy there. Well, let's look at a line. Let's say he develops a piece.
Where can he go?
So can you trap the queen now?
If I do bishop to d1,
Bishop d1. Yeah,
it's trapped.
and the queen is trapped.
The reason why I said the pawn is because I just remember, when the bishop on the side of the board and then the pawns are coming down and the pawn, that's my memory just went to that really.
Yeah.
So when like the bishop is like pinning like on the side of the board, like where the pawns are moving down and the bishop gets trapped by the pawns coming down. That's why I
Oh,
said pawn first instead of the
okay.
bishop, because when mine went, oh well, pawns. I said that first.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then that's good because you had a little bit of how do you call it pattern recognition there. So oh yeah, that sometimes the pawn moves traps the bishop. I
Yeah,
guess you always have to see if your knee-jerk reaction of because of pattern recognition if it applies in the specific position. And here, I mean, d3 is a good move because he still cannot save his queen. Bishop d3 wins the queen straight away. So always look for chess. There are some general principles in chess, and they're very helpful, but you have to make sure they work in the specific situation that you're in.
yeah. I love, man. If I don't pull this off in the game, what a beautiful move.
Yeah, exactly. And look at his pieces.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm not so upset with myself like I used to be is that you have to get burned. If we've just got to 1,000 or 1,000 for whatever, and I just didn't go through these lessons, that's not chess really, or any skill. You've got to learn what's there. So it's
Yeah,
learning really.
it is. It is. And I guess but yeah, this is so. You said I have trouble finding a way when my opponent just goes roaming around with the queen to punish him. Well, here this is a very clear moment that you could have punished him, and if you had taken some time, then you probably would have through Chef's attacks. It's an attack on the queen, and the queen has no squares. The queen is checkmated.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't see that. Just play bishop b5 check. c6, and of course you can still play bishop d3 back if you see it now, still trapping the queen. But you play bishop a4, attacking the queen that way, but now the queen still has a route back to safety. But yeah, he has all his pieces on the back rank, so you're still, even though you're an exchange and a pawn down, you're still very much in this game. Knight h4, attacking the queen, queen g5, d4. I like that move, grabbing the center and attacking the queen again. So you make all sorts of moves with tempo. He has to keep playing his queen. This is move 12, and he probably has played 10 or moves with the queen or 9. He does attack something in your camp though, and you played bishop d1, attacking the queen again, and that makes him grab another pawn. So he's getting a lot of material. So what could you have played here to make sure there's a good move here to make sure you don't drop another pawn?
A few candidate moves. I'm thinking queen d1 or knight e2.
Yep. And if you try to combine saving that pawn with a development move,
Bishop f4.
yeah, bishop f4 or bishop e3, yeah, then that's a piece that's still not developed.
Yeah.
I guess with bishop f4 you have to. Bishop f4 does save the pawn. I just see another move that you at least have to calculate if you put those pieces like that. What tactic can black play?
Tactic can black play. Okay, pawn to g5.
Yes, and that's a fork. So So you have to be careful. So I would say bishop e3 is a very natural move. Oh, oops,
Yeah.
bishop e3 here. You develop the bishop and attack the pawn, and now you're going to centralize your rook, and then all your pieces are playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you play bishop d1, attacking the queen again. Queen takes d4, and you played knight e2, attacking the queen again. You had it. We talked about before. You have the tendency to give checks whenever you can give a check, which I'm trying to talk you out of. And here you have the tendency to attack the queen whenever you can attack the queen.
Yeah.
The knight on c3 is a happy piece. Looking at the center, and on e2, it's a little bit less happy. So again, the question is, what can you do here to develop and harass the queen at the same time?
Bishop to e3.
Yeah, bishop e3. Good move here. Getting that piece in the game and kicking the queen again, so he has no time to develop his pieces. Okay, so you played knight e2, queen d6, and queen h3.
I forgot the ending of this game. Now I remembered.
Yeah, we have an interesting ending. But queen h3 is a blunder, and why is it?
Queen h3 is a blunder. Or is it because he can take a piece for free? D1.
Yeah, with check. Yeah. And again, you played it really quickly. You just didn't check the move before you played it. King g2. And here, of course, queen c8 is a bit of an annoying threat. No, it's not the end of the world. He can still interpose his queen. But I would say if he plays e6, shutting off your queen from there. I know black's played terribly because he has not developed anything, but he does have an extra rook on the board now.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of material. So he played f6 instead, creating this flight square for the king. You came in, and here he just has to interpose the queen. I know every piece is now back on the back rank, but he's a rook up. He played king f7 instead, knight f4, and here move like queen d7 is possible, protected by the knight on b8. But he played g5, that's the same tactic.
Oh, yeah.
Queen e6 check. And if the king goes back to e8, he's still okay, but he went to a very bad square on g7. And you had a mate in one, knight f5, checkmate. I'm glad you won this game because your opponent played terribly. Look at all his pieces scattered around the board. Most of them are at home. And his queen is on d1. So he deserved to be checkmated, but it was not a great game from either side, I have to say.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. And then you had it was a 10-minute game, and then at the end of this game, you had 8 minutes and 11 seconds left. Aran, that's 5 seconds per move.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Look, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? I'm not afraid to admit my faults.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a poor effort, really.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it's nice to get the win, but it was not a great game.
Yeah.
But at least, well, that's fine. And at least we've seen now an example of how you can deal with a runaway queen if he just the queen is a very strong piece. So you have to, if he goes roaming with his queen, he can do damage, as we saw here. So you have to be careful. Make sure your checks, captures, attacks to make sure you don't give any material away. But if you do that, then it's just bad play, and you get automatically a good position. But you have to be careful with that queen because it's such a strong piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, it was a very good. This is why I put it forward. I didn't put it forward because it's a nice checkmate. I put it forward because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm very happy to admit that, if I'm honest. My pieces were a bit more developed than him. That's why I was able to get my knights, and I just went for checks. Okay, could have interposed, but he made the last mistake. I
Oh,
didn't. So
exactly. No, that and
mm,
that still applies, of course. Who makes the last mistake, and that's not only at your level; that's at every level. Person who
mm.
makes the last mistake will lose the game. So, and he doesn't deserve to win this game, but it's
I would have loved to saw his reaction. His side, taking a rock, going to town on me. And look, I'll
yeah,
be honest with you, the mood behind every move that I played was I was happy to if you had said to me, listen, I'd get you at this game now, but you'll have zero elo, I'd take it because I was just embarrassed. I quite like that. I still did that. Like, and look, I never gave up. I kept going. I tried to find something. I tried to put something together, and
yeah,
I won't give up until the end. So
yeah.
I was
Oh, exactly.
rewarded in it.
Yeah,
It's still
no,
poor.
exactly.
Don't get me wrong, but I'm happy that look, I've seen what you've said. I'm going to take it on board. I'm going to rewatch it, and there you go.
Yeah. So I guess the main thing in here is if your queen goes on a rampage, his queen goes on a rampage. Uh, yeah, it's great to attack the queen, especially if you can attack the queen with tempo. And there were a few moves where you did that very nicely. But always, yeah, you need to use a bit of time because the queen can do damage if you're not careful because it's such a strong piece. It can do all sorts of double attacks or so you have to give it a bit of care and attention when your opponent plays only with his queen. But once you do that, you get automatically a good position.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Next one.
Yes.